Hi, welcome to Lewis Spotlight. I'm Keith White, and today I'll be sharing some of my life lessons with you. In 8th grade, I went to St. Mary Magdalene in my neighborhood there on the east side of Joliet, and in 8th grade, then they took the class to see the musical at Joliet East, which is no longer in existence, you know. And I saw that, and I was just swept away. It was like magic. It was eye-opening. And from that moment on, I knew that it was theater that I was going to do. I was going to be a Lutheran minister before that, but once I saw the theater, I thought, that's for me. I think the people who made the most impact on me were teachers. My high school music teacher, and she was the director of the musicals. She was great, such a hard worker. So, you know, I think she gave me my work ethic as far as working in productions went. She was the first one. And then after that, Claudette Soltis from the Joliet Ballet Society. She used to teach the beginning movement and dance class here at Lewis, and when I started at Lewis, she saw me, and I guess she must have seen some kind of potential because she wanted to give me lessons if I would partner with her girls. She needed guys to help partner her girls. You know, they've reached that stage. So I said, sure, why not? You know, so I took up ballet, which was, you know, incredibly difficult, but I mean, it really helped me in the long run. And then finally, my mentor here at Lewis as far as theater, Chet Kondratowicz. I first started coming to Lewis when I was still in high school, because I lived in Joliet, and so I came to see the plays my junior year in high school, the plays that were being done here. And I thought they were incredible. I thought they were fantastic, you know. So I knew I wanted to go here because of the plays that I've seen. I met, you know, the people, some of the faculty, that sort of thing. So when I came here, I felt pretty much at home already, and I really enjoyed what we were doing here. At that time, we just had that little studio theater, which is now in the music department, but it was, you know, the music department's been completely renovated. The stage space was someplace very different. So that's why I came here, because I knew what it was. I knew the quality of the work that was being done. And it was in the 70s. It was 1973, so you didn't care what things looked like, you know. Well, my first job actually was, I danced for Indianapolis Ballet, because they worked with the Joliet Ballet Society. We did, you know, some shows together. They saw me and they offered me a job. So it was nice when I graduated from Lewis that I had something to go to right away. But, you know, the ballet world is a lot different from theater, and I got out after, you know, half of a season. You know, I was there for the fall. We did the Nutcracker over and over and over again. And then I left that and I started auditioning in Chicago. I think the role that I think I had the most success with was playing Salieri in Amadeus. He's the guy who kills Mozart, you know. It's an incredibly well-written part. He's on the stage the entire time, has these long monologues. Very challenging role, but I think I did a pretty good job with it, because, well, every night the audience stood on their feet when I walked out for curtain call. That one, and on the other end would be, in the musical area, would be Henry Hill from The Music Man. I played him, and that was incredibly enjoyable. Salieri was incredibly dark. Music Man was just an awful lot of light fun. Well, I had been working at Candlelight as a professional actor for 2 years, making good money, and the position of theater manager opened up, brand new position. And I talked to Chet Kondratowicz. I met with him and said, you know, I want to come back. I want to do this, because I knew eventually I wanted to get back into teaching. And he said, you know, he thought I was crazy. He said, you know, you're making great money, you're working in the theater, but that's not what I wanted. So I came back and I was a theater manager for 11 years. At one point I went back and got my MFA in acting. I came back and waited for a professor to retire so I could slip in and get a position here. Because I always wanted to work at Lewis. Incredible changes, incredible. There were, I mean, the place was a dump. It really was. Everything was going wrong. The infrastructure was bad. You know, there'd be brownouts and blackouts all the time because we had our own electric power plant, and you know, the water, that sort of thing. It, you know, was very old, and Lewis didn't have the money in order to fix anything at that time. So it was really, really very primitive. I mean, if you saw the things, but the growth too, the growth is amazing. When I first started working here at Christmas parties, all of the colleges would come for the Christmas party, and you knew everybody. And you knew all the secretaries. Now, you know, with arts and sciences alone, I don't know who a lot of the people are. I couldn't tell you by name who they are. So, you know, that was nice, that was fun, you know, a very small kind of family thing, but it's great now. It's great now to have such a committed faculty, you know, and to see Lewis growing. Very proud to be a Lewis alum. I prefer now to teach and direct rather than acting. I was an actor. I did quite a few times, many times in my life, and that's what I was known as at the beginning. But acting, yeah, it's a very different kind of work, and it's very much more self-centered. You worry much more about yourself, where directing you have control over a lot more elements rather than just yourself. So it's not less work, it's just a different kind of work. What keeps my passion going is the fact that it's always a new group of people that you're working with. Sometimes, you know, the same designers, same costume designer, you know, here, that sort of thing. But every show has a different quality to it, depending on who you cast, the people who are in it, the subject matter of the show. So that's, as far as directing, that's what keeps my passion going. And, you know, like any passion, it's difficult to get tired of it if you're truly passionate about it. Teaching, too, getting new students. You know, there's always that new group of people that you're working with. So, yeah, that keeps you going. I would say the things I'm most proud with are probably when students make discoveries, or you see a student blossom, you know, and they're aware, they discover their talent, the things that they have, and they're good people, they have a good work ethic. You know, when you're a teacher, that's what you produce, you know. So when I see the students find success, like Kate Cannon, you know, she wrote Pitch Perfect 1 and 2. She was in Second City in Vegas. She wrote for 30 Rock, was one of the producers there. So she did an awful lot of good work, and she's still doing good work. Because when you're in the theater, if you're a performer, well, actually any designers, anything else, you are your own business manager. You are the one who is in charge of finding jobs. And you have to find jobs all the time. So it's not like, you know, you can get a job and you're there for 10 years, 5 years, you know, and it's comfortable and you get that paycheck coming in all the time. So yeah, it's rough. But the students who make it are the ones who really work at it, you know, who have the drive. Kay was very, very talented, but you don't have to be the most talented actor or designer or technician. You just have to have the guts to pursue it. Absolutely, absolutely. I feel very blessed to be able to be a teacher in a place I love, that I have a huge connection to be able to work with the people that I work with. Yeah, it's, yeah, I can always consider myself extremely lucky that I have this position and I'm here. And the nice thing is, too, that I'm still in Joliet. My brothers and their family, other relatives are all still here. So I have that opportunity, you know, to work professionally, but also be close to the family, which is very important to me. The most difficult life lesson, I think, was probably about 5 years ago. Both of my parents passed away within 5 months. And, you know, even though you're older, you know, I was in my 50s, it's still, it's still all of a sudden they're not there, you know. I haven't had an awful lot of big problems in life, fortunately. So I think that would be it. The piece of advice that I would give to all the students here at Lewis would be to get involved in things. If you can. You know, I know a lot of students work and go to school, but if you can do anything to get involved with an organization or a project or something like that, because that's really, I believe, a major part of your education. The most important life lessons my parents gave me, I believe, was, I think from my mother it was kindness, and from my father, a great sense of humor. He could talk to anybody, you know. Those two things. And they brought us up good Lutherans too. So I think advice that I would give to theater majors coming in now would be to take all of your classes seriously, because a good actor, I think, needs to be intelligent in all areas, because you're dealing with different forms of society, different time periods. You're working with a lot of different things that you need information on in order to play the roles correctly. So for theater majors, I would say, you know, those gen eds, you may gripe about them, but they are important and they will help you in your career. Thank you for watching Lewis Spotlight. I'm Keith White, and I hope you had some fun listening and maybe learned something from my life lessons here at Lewis.